I'm the largest on the screen that I'm recording, but if you prefer not to be in the video at all, then you want to just turn off your video. So I'll give everyone just a moment to make that decision. All right, and you're very tiny on the screen, so okay. All right, so taking a comfortable seat. Our asana, our seat. When we use the word asana in our yoga practice, we mean to say we seat ourselves in this way. So if we're doing an easy cross-legged seat, then we seat ourselves in that position. If we're standing in a warrior position, we seat ourselves. So let's get a sense of our seat right now, sitting inside this human form, this body, and perhaps even visualizing your shape, your body shape, you know, just the outline to get a sense of that form that is seated right now. And we are not just our bodies are one way of looking at ourselves, the physical way. And so we sit as if we're filling this form, this outline of ourselves, or maybe even this wrapper, right? The fascia layer, the physical fascia connective tissue, like a wrapper fitting around our whole body. And of course, our skin could be seen as a wrapper, or understood or sense and felt as a wrapper. And we sit inside ourselves and fill up the space inside yourself. So perhaps you get a little taller, and perhaps you get a little broader through your shoulders and even your elbows and even your knees, as if they could broaden apart a bit. And you fill the space with yourself, breathing in and out. You notice there is expansion on your inhale. You can feel the shape even more. And when you exhale, the shape just hugs around you. So you never lose that connection to the outer shape. And the fascia layer wraps you like a hug. And it's also what mobilizes us in times where we need to get going. And it also gets affected, our fascia layer gets affected by stress or anxiety or fear, like that, danger. It's meant to activate, mobilize us, and move us. So it can sometimes hold these patterns of fear or flight or freeze, these patterns that come up in response to events, words, whatever, experiences physically. The fascia holds the stories, and yoga practice is a way of connecting to that tissue. All right, so let's take our hands to the heart. We are seated inside ourselves for this practice. Lift up through your crown and fill the space inside you with breath. Move it in. Let it out. Just let it out. Inhale, let it in. Let it out. Yeah, just let it out. And one more time. Inhale, full deep breath. Let it out. And then breathe in and out naturally through your nose if you can. Bringing it in, bringing it out. So there's that contrast of the very deep, full, active breath and then this natural breath. And the fascia layer is kind of like if we overact, if we overactivate ourselves, we'll feel a lot in our muscles. If we underact, we won't quite go to the fascia layer. But movements brings space and availability to our fascia layer. So we're not stuck in our patterns. movement, gentle movements like here. We can just move our arms up, not a big stretch that goes into your ligaments, muscles, but just a lift. And then you bring your hands to the heart. And then open your arms wide and feel that. And then just bring your hands to your heart. And notice if you're going to an edge, right? Like arms up, and notice, is there a sharp edge or a tingling? Back off of that. So you're just making the movement, hands to the heart, and open the arms wide like that, and hands to the heart. And just feel these movements without big stretches. Arms up, hands to the heart, and you move with your breath. Arms wide, hands to the heart, and just one more time like that without overstretching, but there is a lift, just connecting to the movement, hands to the heart and arms wide. And hands to the heart, and feel. So you might already notice a little more ease in the breath, a little more action or a little more feedback. Fill the form, inhale, exhale. And I invite you to join me or listen in as I chant the Om, inhaling together. Om. And release your hands down. Open your eyes if they're closed. Wiggle out your legs. They might be a little stiff. And just know you can switch your seat to make it more comfortable for you at any time. Yeah, so stretching your legs out and then recross so the opposite leg is in front. So if we're working with our foundation and stability, one way to get stability in arm use is to make sure we know the four corners of our hands. So this is a great teaching tool to be able to be right here with you. Index finger knuckle, the wrist edges, okay, so the mound under the thumb, and then the outer wrist, and then the little finger knuckle. So you might touch your own palm so you're aware of these four corners. And there's a bone under the knuckle of the thumb, but there's also a pad there, and we kind of want to go for the pad. And you can already see in my hand as I'm activating the four corners that my carpal tunnel is starting to form, if you can see that. And there's a little suction cup in my hand there. So that's the palm. That's the energy chakra right there. That's going to come all the way up and give you support all the way from the palm. You can see that lift into the shoulder socket. Okay, so wow, what a cool thing to be able to use this forum for that. Yeah, and so I don't want to overstretch my wrist and flatten. If you can see here, my carpal is flattened, but once I activate the four corners of my palm, I can see, let's fix that there, I can see the carpal tunnel. Yeah, so we want to learn how to use those four corners. And then we also, excuse my foot, but it is yoga. Yeah. We do have four corners of the foot, and I wish my foot was a little less footprinty, but yeah, you can see the four corners there. The ball of the foot and the little toe side, and then the inner outer heel. And these four corners are foundations for practice. And when we stand on our hands or our feet, we want to use those four corners for foundation. Get stable, get in. That will help us get the seat of the pose. And then from there, the pose can be grounded and it can expand, and we can take right action from a grounded place. So with that, let's come to standing at the front of our mats. The only way to really know about the four corners is to experience the four corners, right? And you might have your props handy, especially blocks for forward folding, as we're going to explore what happens on the four corners when we fold and then when we stand. And when we're on our hands, we'll also tune into the four corners so we get full support. Okay, I see some of you still organizing. I'm going to get grounded on the four corners of the soles of my feet, and I invite you to do so. So many of you know this practice. I reference it often, especially when there's a lot of energy, chaotic energy. It's also full moon time, so whew, it's coming up. And, you know, when the night is lit, we see that which is there, right? So that's happening in our culture right now. Just everything is being revealed. So many layers of our society. And it's our opportunity right now to get grounded in this moment. So bring your feet just to hip width. Make sure you're not splaying them out too far or gripping them in too close, so that you can get a steady foundation. You might lift and spread your toes and feel, you might feel a little rocking back and forth on the heel and the ball of your foot, and position your pelvis right in line with your ankles, so that then you have to spread the weight through the ball of the foot. See if you can make contact with the four corners. Relax your knees a bit so that they're not hyperextending back. And also relax the front groin back a little bit, so you're not pressing into the front of your groins there. Yeah, and so as you activate the four corners, I'm really starting to tune in now. It takes a moment. I can feel which corners on my feet are lighter and which ones are heavier. And I'm just making little micro adjustments to feel, can I really get the four corners of my feet evenly grounded or weighted, could be another idea, into the ground. And I can even feel like my ankles are making little adjustments. And now it's starting to move up into my thighs, where the thigh bones are starting to adjust a bit. They're turning as I work the four corners of the foot. Okay, if you feel any tweak in your knee, just stop what you're doing and reorganize. So now I'm starting to feel in the ball of the foot and the inner heel are grounded. I'm feeling a lift up my inner thighs and right into my pelvic core. I hope you're starting to connect with that. And as I get the outer edge of the foot and the little toe side down, I start to feel the outer leg and the outer hip. And you want to bring just a little more attention to the inner core. So I would say the inner heel grounding down into the earth. Yes, and as you do that, your outer hips will relax a little more. Now you don't want to collapse your arches, no. You're lifting through your arches, but you're staying grounded through the four corners. Good, how's everybody doing? I know this takes a while. If you get tired or you're gripping at all, just regroup and start over. It's like a physical meditation. If you notice any gripping, relax, you're overdoing. Good. Now spread and relax your toes and your jaw while still connected to the four corners. And again, reach your arms up without overstretching. Hands to the heart. So there is a stretch, but it's not like your biggest. Arms wide, inhale, four corners rooted, hands to heart. So stay rooted as you make these arm movements. Up with hands at heart and then arms wide. So we're just putting in a little movement as we stabilize our core, using the four corners, arms up, hands to heart. So keep going as I talk, arms wide, hands to heart. And the four corners of the feet help us find our seat in this standing posture, so that even if our arms are moving and our breath is moving, we can stay connected to the seat of the pose, the grounded, connected posture and support of the earth, evenly activating us to stand our ground here. How you doing? So we're activating core stabilizers and core mobilizers. Let's just do one more round. Holding your ground, arms up. Now stretch up and hands to heart and arms wide and stretch wide and hands to heart. Pause and relax your arms. Relax your feet, but as best you can, stay connected to the four corners and breathe in and out. Sense and feel. Very simple motion we did, but there is an effect. And also we've been grounding the four corners all this time. Yeah, so just notice what's going on for you. I don't want to name it too much, right? I want us to have our own experience. Hands together at the hearts. Keep your breath full. Inhale, rise up, arms up. Now exhale, move your hips back and fold forward. Okay, so you might have your blocks here. We're doing a couple more moments of exploration before we really get moving. Feel your inner outer heel, the ball of the foot, the little toe side. Oh yes, good. So in your forward fold, you can rock a little side to side, but stay connected to the four corners. You can bend one knee and then extend it. Bend and extend, stay connected to the four corners. Notice what happens for you as you make these little motions. And again, remember, don't overstretch. We want to connect with our wrapper and breathe into the wrapper, right? So expanding with breath. All right, now forward fold, bowing in, pause here, get ready to rise, hands to hips, push down through four corners, rise. Arms by your sides, four corners, arms up, inhale, building the sequence, hands to hearts. Inhale, four corners, arms up. Exhale, fold forward, hips back, four corners. I'm just gonna keep that reminder going. Inhale, lift your heart. Notice what happens in the four corners. Bow. Take it all the way up. Inhale. Four corners rooted, standing inside yourself, hands to heart. Lift your toes, wiggle them, put them down. Four corners. Inhale. Arms up. Exhale, fold in. We're moving. Inhale, lift your heart. Stay connected as you bow. Rise all the way up. Four corners, reach up. Hands to heart. Breath here, four corners, and release arms. Inhale, sweep them up. Exhale, hips back, bow forward. What's happening now in the four corners of your feet? Many of us will lean more into our heels. Some people will grip the toes. Even out your balance, so you're in the ball of the foot and heel evenly. All right, staying low, we're gonna step the right foot back. So you kind of have to peel it off the ground now. It's very grounded, and step that right foot back and get onto the ball of the foot. So the feet are doing different things right now, yeah? Okay, left four corners, the front foot, left four corners. Are you getting energy? Right four corners, pressing through the ball of the foot, pull into your body through the back heel. Yeah. Four corner awareness, hands to hips. Come up slow so you can keep the awareness. Let's bend the back knee just a little bit so we can even feel the shoulders and hips can make four corners. All right. So my posture has four corners. My foundation has four corners. Yes, you might find that as you're connecting with your front foot, your knee really can get stable. Lift the back heel a bit as you bend the knee a little more and come up. That's all we're doing. Bend the knee a little more and come up. And one more, bend it, bend it, bend it, come up. Now bow over your left leg, your hands come to your blocks and you can straighten. Now reach down through the right heel, the back heel. But again, if you touch the heel down, I would slide the foot a little back here. So you can ground through your inner outer heel and get a good stretch. Okay, now bring your attention to the front foot and get the four corners. You might have to bend your knee a little bit. You might find that the inner edge of the foot gets a little light when you are in the stretch. Now let's bend and extend both knees as you keep awareness in the four corners so that we're bringing movement to the posture. We're not just holding it, bringing some movement in, bending and extending. Do you have enough support from your blocks? And your four corners. The more you work the four corners of the front foot especially, the easier it will be on your hands. That's nice. Now, as we've moved, hold the stretch again for a couple of breaths just to feel. Put all the weight down through the four corners and get lighter on your hands. That's it. So you might feel enough energy that you can really lift your heart and lengthen. And just for a moment, you get light on the blocks, move them forward, and now step to the front of your mat. Reground through the four corners of both feet. Notice the difference. The left foot hasn't moved much.
maybe not at all, and the right foot had had all that activity. Feel. Wow, it's different, notice. And as we start to even out more and more, now we're gonna peel the left foot off the ground and step it way back, ball of the foot on the ground. And notice many people press the heel, the left heel down, the back heel, but in lunge, you want to lift to get energy through the leg. Lift through the inner outer heel as you press through the ball of the foot. Then the front foot, four corners. It's foundation. Four corners, four corners, four corners. Notice which one got light as you bring your hands up. Which one gets light? For me, it's my inner heel there. Kind of peeled off the ground and I felt wobbly for a moment. Yeah, bend the back knee so you can lift the back heel and just get down into it a little more, and the four corners, the pelvis and the shoulders can line up. Fill the pose, contacting your fascia, your wrapper. And then bend your left knee and straighten. And you go with exhale coming down and inhale coming up. Exhale. Inhale, maybe one more, just bending and coming back up. Now dive over the right leg. Stay connected to those four corners. What's going on in the back leg? Maybe you want to slide it back a little. Stretch evenly through the inner outer heel. Good. A little micro bend in the right knee can help you get connected to the front four corners. So you might notice as you really go for straight leg, the inner edge of the foot kind of peels off the ground. But if you micro bend, you can get the four corners grounded and then go for the stretch. And on the four corners, you're so supported, you might be able to come up higher. Get up off your hands very lightly. Move those blocks forward, bigger stretch, and then step forward. Okay. And we feel. We're on the four corners. And as you root into the four corners in a forward fold, you might notice that you just naturally come deeper into the pose. Rise all the way up to standing. Four corners, support you, stretch up, land the hands at the heart, pause to feel, arms by your side. Are you aware of the four corners right now? I know it's repetitive. It's a mantra that brings us back from wherever we go, away from the seat of ourselves. Four corners rooted, arms up, inhale, stretch up, exhale, fold in. Lift your heart part way, four corners. So when I lift my heart part way, I notice I'm more toward the ball of your foot, my foot. Where are you on your foot? Some people lean way back when they lift their hearts, so they're not connected to the ball of the foot. Find your balance on the base. Okay, now bend the knees and find your chair position. Focused on the four corners, take your arms up. Lean a little back, feel the heel, inner outer heel, and then spread the weight through the ball of the foot and the little toe side. Spread your little toes. Yes, so as you get the four corners rooted, your pelvic floor will lift and you'll be supported here to hold your arms up for 3. Maybe sitting down a little deeper for 2. Notice the four corners. I notice my arches collapse. What do you notice? Maybe sitting down a little deeper. Fold forward now. Exhale, coming into the breath. Look out. Peel the right foot off the ground. Four corners rooted. Ball of the foot. Now rise up. All the way up. High lunge. Oh, what happened in the four corners? Just taking that moment for awareness. Now spin your back heel down. Turn out to the side a bit for warrior 2. You might need to walk your right foot back a little. Everyone concentrating on the four corners of the foot. As you form your warrior two, soften the outer body so you can feel more from the inside to the wrapper. Hold your steady four corner stance. Seat yourself in the warrior pose. Breathing here. The more we connect to the four corners, the more activated we will be evenly on all sides. Energy moving in, energy moving out. And we can hold this steady pose of power for 3, maybe going a little deeper down for 2, maybe digging into your breath a little deeper for 1. Windmill your arms all the way to the ground and step the right foot forward, 4 corners of the feet, chair position, 4 corners. My base, it has 4 corners. And I support myself there. How high can you stretch your chest while staying connected to the 4 corners? Rise through your breath. Exhale, fold forward, deep Uttanasana. Now inhale, lift your heart. Bend the knees a bit. Before you peel the left foot off the ground, step it back. Relax your feet, but connect through the 4 corners. And once you feel energized, you can rise. I hope that time it was a little more smooth for you. I did stay more connected that time to the 4 corners of my foot. The back foot, you modulate the way you use the lift of your heel to feel what you need for support. Maybe you need to pull in a little more. Maybe you need to reach out a little more. Feel for 3. For 2, maybe getting a little deeper. And 1, hands can come to the heart, turn the left heel down, reorganize a bit, coming into the warrior 2. I notice if I soften a bit and relax my expectation on the pose, then I can get more grounded through the 4 corners and I start to feel my body align in a special way, I'll say, a specific way. Open the arms over the earth. Good. Open up your hand a bit so the 4 corners of your palms are rooted on air. Feel. Yeah, come back to the feet, 4 corners. Maybe sitting a little deeper. Keep that front knee wide. Contact your fascia layer with the breath for 1 more breath here. 4 corners. And up and over, down to the ground. And this time we are going to step backwards into downward dog. Root the 4 corners of your hands and step on back. Okay, so we're in a new territory now. Walk your feet back enough so your inner outer heels are actually not down. So again, you're using the inner outer heel corners, deciding if you want to bring them up and in a little bit or press down and back a little bit to see what they do. Ball of the foot has to press it down and forward a bit. All right, so that's the feet, and come back to your hands, 4 corners, index finger knuckle. Mound under your thumb, outer edge of the wrist, and the pinky mound. Ooh, feel the 4 corners rooted, and that carpal tunnel maybe lifting a little bit into your armpits, all the way up into the belly core. Let's stay for 2, energize for 1, and roll yourself forward and down onto the earth. Roll forward and down, down, down. Move blocks if they're in your way. Point your toes and move your hips back a little bit from your heart. There you go. So we're just setting ourselves ready for back bending. All right, so feel your legs should be parallel. Now the soles of the feet, they do look at the sky, yeah? But see if you can align the 4 corners of the soles of your feet so they would kind of be parallel to the sky. Just feeling that. So all your toenails are more even with the ground. And press gently through your toenails till you feel your legs energizing. Firm your thighs, the kneecaps will lift. Now turn your palms to the earth. And root down through the four corners of your palms. Fingers are pretty light. Good, so the pose is getting energized already. Shoulder heads lift, head lifts a bit. Stay low, press through your four corners. The soles of the feet spreading and opening toward the sky. Now lift the feet and the legs slightly. Keep pressing through the palm. Lift the four corners of the shoulder. You could even visualize four corners there. Spread your toes so your feet face the sky. Now, with the four corners of the hand rooted, maybe you can lift just a little higher. Legs can lift. And then everybody slide your head and legs down. You can bring your hands in front for a moment. Use them as a pillow or just rest your forehead. How's everybody doing? Are you seated inside yourself here? If your mind is wandering, just come back to your breath. Communicate with the soles of the feet, four corners, and you're here, present. Now cobra pose, legs are ready, soles of the feet facing the sky, toenails clicking down. Knees lifting, draw the pelvic floor in and up. Now place your palms next to your heart on either side and lift the shoulders up. Got it? Now, pushing down through the four corners of your hand, lift the heart. Try not to push your heart up, but rather lift it. Exhale, come down. Let's do two more. Soles of the feet facing the sky and legs are long and energized. Inhale, four corners. Exhale, come down. One more time, four corners. And exhale, come down. Now you can tuck your toes and energize your legs. The kneecaps will lift. You can choose to come up on hands and knees or so energized, press into the four corners and rise up. Downward facing dog. Please know you can rest anytime. I know there's different levels of practice. If you're on the knees, you can still have a great experience of connecting to the four corners. In downward dog, actually come onto the knees for just a moment and look at your hand and notice it's often the index finger knuckle that is not down and the outer edge of your wrist that is very heavy on the earth. So see if you can transfer some weight there. Good. And then once you've got the four corners rooted, rise up again. Oh yeah, work the feet a bit. Notice your downward dog when you do root the four corners, and now you're coming into plank, four corners. Exhale through chaturanga, four corners, and inhale through cobra or upward dog, four corners, and press back through downward dog, four corners. How did that work for you? Let's do one more round like that. You might be on your knees. Come forward in a plank. Four corners, exhale. Chaturanga, inhale, cobra or upward dog, and exhale, pressing back. We can meet at the front of the mat. You could take a walk, a step, or with the four corners rooted, you might jump. Holy moly, I got lifted. Inhale, chair, four corners of the feet, and rise all the way up to standing. Asta Tadasana, arms up overhead, and hands by your side. Feeling now again into the four corners of the soles of your feet. How you doing? Hands together at the heart. Let's go around one more time through a vinyasa, including a few standing postures. We'll move on the breath, and the alignment cue is the four corners of the soles of our feet and filling the space inside the form. Okay, here we go. Similar sequence, but moving more energetically, more cardio. Lots of breath. Four corners, inhale, arms up, exhale, fold it. Lifted heart. Bent knees, Utkatasana, chair pose. Four corners. What happens in your Utkatasana? Yeah, now let's add a vinyasa between. So exhale, coming down, hands down. I know that's not easy to do. Four corners, walk back, downward face dog. Use your knees if you need it. Skip it if you need. Forward in a plank. Chaturanga, cobra or up dog, four corners. Exhale, downward face dog, four corners of hands, four corners of feet. Notice you have more freedom in your feet than your hands right now. All right, let's do it from here. Left leg up, left foot forward, ground the four corners and rise. Use the back foot to help you modulate. Beautiful. Back heel down, warrior two. Adjust the back foot to help you ground into the four corners. Warrior two. Stand your ground as a warrior. It's time we stand our ground. We all can be warriors for peace. We all can find actions that bring us to more balance, to more peace and justice for all. Four corners, there's foundation. Windmill the arms, the hands ground, and you step back, downward face dog. Roll through your vinyasa or pause. Inhale, plank. Exhale, four corners, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or upward dog. Exhale, downward face dog. Four corners. Anytime you need a rest, you come down. That's a cornerstone of practice. Breath, cornerstone. Bandha, this lift, the root lift, the belly lift, the bandhas, the energetic locks or lifts. Good, our gaze, wherever you gaze, you go. Look forward. Beautiful, take the right leg up and step that right foot through. Now ground your right foot, look at your four corners. Back foot, modulate it so you can rise, steady high lunge. Yes, feel those four corners supporting you, back heel down. Making adjustments, soften so the four corners can support you. Ground into the four corners and get support. The palms, as I said before, are floating on air, but the four corners connect to that current of air, like they're pressing on the earth, but they're pressing on air. For the warrior, warriors of the heart, warriors for peace and justice for all, we stand our ground, we fill this form, and we take action from this place of stability and support. Windmill, take your hands to the earth, right foot back to meet the left. Now you have to choose, is it time to rest? Is it time to continue along the path? Make your right action, forward in a plank, or resting, exhale, chaturanga, inhale, cobra, or up dog, feet face the sky. Exhale, press back, downward face dog, four corners. So notice the adjustments that come through when you adjust how you touch the earth, how you make connection to your breath. Beautiful. How's everybody doing? Are we okay for one more exploration? Let's come down on the knees a moment. Thank you for whoever said that telepathically to me. On your knees, you can fold into your child's pose and bring your palms together to touch gently. Feel the energy in your hands. Support yourself in any way you might need, maybe not folding your knees so much. Yes, notice that the palms maybe fall away from each other, but do touch the four corners of the palms together. Gently, so you can feel the magnetic quality of the hands right now.
the energetic quality. All right. Now take that gentle touch, the four corners to the earth, the palms to the earth, hands a little wide. Relax your hands a bit and then connect to the four corners. Notice the energy in your arms. Rise up, downward face dog. So you're using your finger pads, but you're not overworking them. You've got the four corners of the palms connected. Full of breath. Notice how that relaxes us just a little bit, to relax the grip a bit. And more press through these four landmarks, roots. All right, let's walk, step, or light jump. Meet at the front, bow forward. Notice your forward fold now. Are you in the four corners? Get them set. Now take your hands behind your legs. You can have the knees slightly bent or straighter legs. Four corners of your foot rooted. Relax your eyes. Relax your neck. Relax your arms a little bit. You're still wrapped, but everything is softer so you can fill the space inside this form. Fill it up with yourself. Release into yourself and the four corners of the feet. Energize and rise up. Big breath, everyone. Arms can go up unless you're dizzy. Hands to the heart and relax the arms down. Let's take a moment to notice what's present. Standing on the four corners. You might close your eyes. Is there one part of you standing deeper into one corner? Is one foot heavier than the other, lighter, one edge lighter? Feel. It's really great work that we're doing here. Getting grounded, steady inside ourselves. Micro adjustments to feel more connected, more support, more power. Coming from a steady, grounded place. Big deep breath in and out, everyone. All right, let's shake it out a little bit, okay? Shake it out a little bit. Shake your legs, shake your feet, shake your arms. Doesn't have to be big, but it could be. You could make it a big, dramatic thing. I know. Ooh, I have a little cracking in my ankle when I do that. I think I might do it a little more gently and try to loosen that ankle a little bit. All right, how are you doing there? And it feels kind of good to shake. Shake it out. Getting a little more ragdolly. All right, and then reestablish your stance. Last standing part of our practice, standing on the four corners of both feet. We will begin on our right foot. We will practice tree pose, standing on the right leg. Get the four corners rooted. When you bring your left foot up, put it to the inner calf or thigh and root the four corners of the foot to the inner leg. In order to do that, you're going to need to wrap your little toe back a little up. Notice the opening you get from that. Align the four corners of your torso here, four corners of your foot. Yes, you might end up falling a bit when you really work the four corners, but eventually you will get the four corners rooted and feel so supported, you could just take your arms up. You are rooted to the earth through the four corners of your right foot. The left foot's rooting against the inner thigh. Climb a little higher. Oh, very fine. Keep adjusting the four corners of your foot. And you'll notice you can hold the pose longer. those little challenges or big challenges soften, fill the form, be the tree. Hands slowly down to your heart and slowly release that foot and connect the four corners of the left foot to earth. Notice the difference. Whew. My right leg is so active now, it wants to shake out, but I'm just waiting a moment until the left four corners are really grounded. Now I feel lighter on the right foot. Left four corners, already the right leg is starting to relax for me. Left four corners, bring the right foot up to the calf or thigh and find the four corners. Oh my goodness, I'm rocking, I'm swaying, I'm turning a little, twisting, I notice. Whoa, it's not my usual stance. There's something happening and I'm having to adjust as I find the four corners. Four corners. I even had to change the placement of my foot. Four corners of both feet. Then you can climb up. Lift your kneecap as you root to the four corners of your left foot. Don't forget about the right foot. Take your arms up when you're feeling something inspiring you to do so. Four corners. I can feel one of my four corners is very, very light. And I know I might fall, but I'm going to explore that. Oh, it's bringing in a whole different shape. It's fascinating. Ooh, I might fall, or I might find my stability. Four corners, and I'm coming down, and you can too. Four corners of both feet. Relax your arms and notice the difference and how the two sides will even out as you root through your four corners. What's happening as you understand more about your pattern? Like I'm understanding that I lift my inner heels a lot of times. My inner heel is not really grounded. So I'm sensing and feeling what happens when I do root through my inner heel. I'm getting a little more used to using that. For you, it might be a different part of your foot. Maybe you are more low arches, so you're more in the inner edge of your foot. And notice what happens when you press through the ball of the foot and your little toe. We could do this for hours, but we're not. Maybe one day you go and you stand under a redwood tree and you get four corners of your foot rooted, right? And you just sense and feel. Hands to the heart. Om Namah Shivaya. I open to the inner teacher. Om Namah Shivaya. Step to the front of your mat, only to come down, and you can do that in any way. It could be very ceremonial with a sun salutation, or you could just sit down. Right, and coming into a comfortable seat just for a moment to feel. We are definitely winding down, everybody. Roll down onto your back and bring the knees close to your chest. All right, so now it's the pelvis and the back of the shoulders that want to be the four corners. You might notice that your back of your spine is actually what you're lying on. If that's true and your shoulders really don't fall back to the ground, I would recommend putting something, a little something under your head. And that just might give you the chance to relax your shoulders back a little more. And if you can't really get the whole shoulder down, maybe you can just feel more of the shoulder blades coming down and under you.
And that will also give a little lift to your spine. So it's not just taking the weight of your chest, but you're spreading the weight of your chest more through the back of your shoulders. All right, now cross your right ankle over your left, and you can reach for your knees, or some people might even reach for their feet, and you're just rocking side to side. Yeah, so as you rock, you might notice first your four corners are more grounded, the hips and the shoulder, and then you go to the other side, hip and shoulder, and just notice that with the right leg on top, and then switch. So the left ankle's on top, hold the knees, shins, or feet, and rock. Oh, so do you feel the same pressure when you rock side to side with this ankle in front, or does it change? What do you notice? What do you feel? And then pause, and then bring both knees next to each other and hug. And let's cross the right ankle over, the right knee over, and hold the knees, the shins, the ankles, or the feet. If you're holding the feet, take them out to the sides a little more. Rocking. Ooh, maybe you can't rock very far to one side because of this different stretch. Just feel, yeah, good. Soft stretch so you can feel the self inside. You fill up with breath. And that's yourself. Your breath is you. You fill yourself up. And you empty out. You don't leave yourself, but there's part of you that releases. Like you don't need that anymore. So it goes back into universe. And then let's just cross the left over right to finish up here. We could do so much more, if we had another bunch of time, or if I went faster during it. But I think it's a good foundation here. I would love to recommend folks trying the four corners out whenever you're practicing. Even if there's, other alignment cues going on, just remember your four corners. And even when you're walking, and even when you're dancing, and even when you're marching, or standing and listening, four corners of the feet will help you be grounded and steady so you can take right action. All right, and so let's unwind the legs, put the soles of the feet onto the ground. We're moving towards Shavasana now, so get your things, whatever you might like to have for Shavasana. And if you want a longer Shavasana than like 4 minutes that we're going to do here. Ooh, I'm getting close to 11, so I am going to go a little bit over 11. Apologize if you have something to do and I didn't end on time. Okay, so if you need just a 2-minute Shavasana, do that, and you might just turn this Zoom off now or just turn the volume down so you can just do your thing. And if you want a longer Shavasana than 4 minutes, then you might also just let it keep going when I pull us out, okay? Otherwise, let's just settle here. The four corners are the the two outer hips and the two outer shoulder blades. But you want to bring the shoulder blades a little closer together so that the outer shoulder drops. And rest evenly on the back of the pelvis so you feel a line going straight across from one side of the pelvis to the other. Right. Four corners. And then if comfortable, release your legs down. And we'll just rest here for a few moments, supported by our practice. If you find yourself wandering, just come back to your form here on this earth and fill the form with breath. And release the breath. Be here. Soft face. Soft jaw. Soft tongue. Relax your eye muscles. Soften the space between your ears. Relax the muscles of the chest. Let go of the arms. Drop the thighs. Soften the belly. Relax your toes and fingers. Float down into the earth. Sink down, down, out. Gently deepen your breath and begin to move again. Bend your knees. Go slowly. Rest longer if you like. Or coming out of Shavasana, very slowly roll to your side. And whichever hand lands on the ground, connect the four corners and push down to rise up. Here we are again. Taking a comfortable seat. Tuning into what is present right now. Where is your awareness, your attention? There are times of life where we do have a choice, times we don't. We always have a choice in how we breathe, and this can be key. We always have a choice. Well, I wouldn't say always. I realized, oh my gosh, we don't always have a choice. Anytime we can shift our awareness to the breath in the four corners, we will find support in that. Bringing hands together in front of the heart, may all beings be free to make that choice, to stand their ground, to breathe. And may I notice those times when I'm not doing that, when I'm not grounded, when I'm not breathing. And may I, in my own experience, make room for others to also have that experience of self.
This is yoga. And to close, I'll chant sound of Om, and I invite you to join me or listen in, inhaling together. Om. Thank you so much for being here today. May these practices serve us well so that we may be of service. Namaste. Okay. Wow, lots of messages coming through. I hope that something came through for you too. Sorry, I'm out of the view there. I'm back. Just wanted to get my better seat. Hope something useful came through for you. I'm going to stop the
Thanks,
recording.
Janna.
You're welcome. You can unmute yourself if you like.
Thank you, Janna.
You're so welcome. Thank you for being